Hi, my name is Teacher Blair. Hi dear audience, so a little bit of disclaimer before you watch my video. So this one is a pre-recorded video discussion. So as much as possible, I try to create a classroom simulation in which there is a make-believe response from a student. Okay, as you can see, I'm not in an actual classroom. So I have here my makeshift whiteboard and whiteboard marker, and then along with the lectures that I have. Okay, so let's start. Okay. Hi, my name is Teacher Blair, and today we're going to talk about a particular story. I believe I have asked you to search about The Last Leaf by O. Henry. Okay? So, if you have read what I have asked you to do last week, then most probably you will get an idea or at least a grasp of what we're going to talk about today. Okay? Okay. So on my share screen, you see a picture, right? There's a picture. So is there anyone in class who can tell me what is that picture? Okay, yes, Anna? Okay, very good. So Anna says that this seems to be a picture of friends. Okay. So what do you think the lesson might be? Why is there a picture depicting a friend? Oh, okay. So maybe it's about friendship. Okay, we shall see. Let's on to the next slide. Now, on the next slide, it might not be visible, but we have the word sacrifice, friendship, resilience, and hope. So we have here hope. I'm just gonna write it down. Sacrifice, resilience, and friendship. Okay, so these four words are some of the characteristics or adjectives that we might encounter while reading the story. I mean, some of the characteristics that we might find along the way while reading the story, okay? So, is there anyone in class who would like to explain what is, for you, based on your own perception, what is sacrifice for you? Okay? Is there anyone who would like to raise their hand? Oh, okay, very good. So let me call on Carl. Oh, yes, Carl? So what's your perception about sacrifice? Okay, let's hear it. Okay, very good. So when we say sacrifice, it's like we do something for someone or even for ourselves. Okay? But most likely, when we say sacrifice, we do it for the good of others. Okay, very good, Carl. That's a nice perception on what sacrifice means to you. How about the word resilience? Is there anyone in class who would like to share their perception about the word resilience? Yes, Terence? Okay, very good. So Terence says that resilience means finding or having some sort of silver lining regardless of all the problems that may come along the way. Okay, so as you can see, your classmates are already sharing their thoughts about the lesson, right? So maybe we're kind of close to getting a grasp about what the story might be. Okay, so this sounds interesting, right? So the story may have some themes about sacrifice, friendship, resilience, and hope. Okay, for this particular word hope, I would like to share my insights on this one, okay? So just like resilience, hope is something that makes us or keeps us going in life, okay? Regardless of how bleak, either even the most simplest things like mundane or it seems like nothing is going on our way, but if we have hope, either hope for the higher being or God or hope for other people and even hope in ourselves, then it's one of the things that will help us to keep on going. Okay, wow, this one's getting kind of serious, right? So we're talking about sacrifice, friendship, resilience, and hope. Okay, very good, class. I'm so impressed with the class today. Everyone is wants to participate. Okay, so don't worry. I will call on other students that I haven't called yet later, okay? So before we proceed to the actual lesson proper, let me just show you another picture again, okay? Okay. So let me just read what is on my share screen, okay? What have you noticed about the tree? Okay, so what can you say about the tree? Look closely at the picture, class. Okay, so, oh wow, okay, so you said that the tree it seems that all the leaves have fallen off the branches of the tree and there's only one leaf hanging on the tree, right? So it could either signify that it is a season of what? Winter or fall. Who says, raise your hand for those who says winter is about to come. How about raise your okay, only two raise their hand. How about the others? So could you raise your hand if you believe that the season that's about to come is fall or autumn? Oh, okay. Okay, so the correct answer is most likely if you live in a place where there are four seasons, then most likely fall is about to come. Okay, the season of fall or autumn. But if you live in a country with two seasons, then most likely the tree is dying or it's a sunny season or summer. Okay, so just like life, how are we going to relate the picture on my share screen? How are we going to relate it with life? Okay. Oh, okay. Let me call on Teresa. Okay, Teresa, right? Okay. So, Teresa, what's your perception about the picture? How are you going to relate it with our life or your life in particular? Okay. So, oh, very good. So, Teresa says that this the picture depicts a hope. Okay, it depicts a glimmer of hope. You see, class, let me share this one, a little bit perception about this one. So you see, class, there will be times like we will be given a lot of problems either in career, life, or even other aspects in our life. Okay, so it's important that we are hopeful that the situation will not always be like that. It will change just like how seasons change from fall, winter to spring again. Okay, so that's how our outlook should be. Okay, we should always have hope for tomorrow or for other days, that it will not always be bad days. There would also be good days. Because like they said, how can you appreciate good days if you don't have the bad days? I think it's just a way of life showing us that in life could really be some bad days and good days too. Okay, it makes us appreciate more, it makes us more appreciative about life. Okay, so now maybe the main theme is hope. Okay, let's see why one of the theme is about hope and resilience. Okay, are you ready, class? Okay, so next is, and you guess it right, since that's your assignment last week, right? So our story for today would be about The Last Leaf by O. Henry. Okay, so that's the title. But before we go on to introduce the author and the lesson and the actual story, let me just read the lesson objectives, okay? So the lesson objectives, we have number 1, to demonstrate comprehension of the story of The Last Leaf by O. Henry. So it is expected, class, that you have, by the end of our discussion, you will have a clear grasp about the themes and a message of the story. Okay, also some of the words, you're familiarized with the other synonyms of terms of words that is written along the story, okay, or in the story. Okay, next is objective number 2 is to distinguish the themes and characters of the story and be able to come up with the written analysis of the story. Yes, you guessed it right. So we will going to have some guided practice and then individual activities. Most of them are in written, and we're going to have in written form, and we're going to have some group work activities in which I will pair you up with some of your students, and you're going to write an analysis about the story. And there might be some homework too. Okay? Okay. So before I start, I think it's important, class, to know more about the author. Okay? The author. So O. Henry, just like other authors that you have encountered in our class in literature, O. Henry makes use of a pseudonym or a false name. Most writers, they do not use their actual name, but it's up to them. Some writers, they use their actual name. Some writers, they use an initial name or any screen name, just like how actresses do that all the time, okay? So in this particular part, O. Henry, his real name is William Sidney Porter. Okay? Again, William Sidney Porter. Okay, keep that in mind, class. It might be included in our quiz next time. Okay, so William Sidney Porter, or also known as O. Henry, was born on September 11, 1862, and he died on June 5th, 1910. Okay, so he was an American short story writer. He's famous for his use of surprise endings, and he had written over 300 short stories. So that's how much of a genius or accomplished author O. Henry is. He had written 300 short stories in his lifetime. Okay, his stories are about the lives of ordinary people and are marked by his unique narrative style. So once we get onto the story of The Last Leaf, you'll get to know more about how he writes, what is his pre-writing strategy, or what is his writing style that is being talked about on this share screen. Okay? So most of his stories are based in New York City and speak of his fascination with the place. Take note, class, while reading the story, it's also located somewhere in New York City. There might be some details that you might not be familiar with because the setting is around 1800s to 1900s. So it's been a long time, almost few decades had passed. So there might be some different description about some landmarks or overall facade of the New York City. Okay? Okay. So summary of the story. Oh yes, I'm going to give you a sneak peek of how it ends. Okay, so I'm so sorry if you're not too prepared by the spoiler. Okay, I'm gonna read this one before I ask you in class to read the story one by one. Okay, so summary of the story. We have two characters or two main characters or protagonists in the story. So we have two friends here named Sue and John C. So Sue and John C live together in a rented apartment. John C contracts pneumonia and loses her desire to live. She announces that she would die when the last leaf fell off the ivy creeper that could be seen from the room's window. When the last leaf falls off, their neighbor Mr. Berman goes out in the storm to paint one. This gives hope to John C. On the other hand, this is the spoiler, class, Mr. Berman contracts pneumonia and dies. Okay, so pneumonia, class, during the time or the setting of the story, there's not a lot of cure into that type of sickness. Okay, so most people who have or contracted pneumonia, most likely they die. Okay, that's how it is. Now, it was a time where there was some sort where pneumonia is prevalent in the timeline. So our main character, John C, had contracted pneumonia, and since she contracted pneumonia, she's feeling down, and she's already having some sort of premonition, or she already guessing or predicting that he might die soon. Okay, so one of his neighbors tried to do something for her by painting a leaf on a window so that no matter what season, John C. will see that the leaf will not fall off. It might lighten John C., or it will give her hope that he might live longer. Okay. Okay, so for the theme of the story, the main theme of the story is selflessness and sacrifice. When Berman finds out that Chansey is convinced that she will die once the last ivy leaf falls, Berman selflessly gets out in the rain and snow in the middle of the night to paint an ivy leaf on the brick wall. Okay? Likewise, what is the meaning of the last leaf? Berman climbed up on a ladder and painted the leaf in the cold and rain and caught pneumonia himself and died. The leaf is a symbol of despair that turns into a symbol of hope. See how it swings from desperation to hope? Okay. John C. thinks that the ivy leaf stands for her life, slowly falling away. When the leaf remains, however, it becomes a symbol of hope for her. Okay, so now that I have read the summary and the theme of the story, hopefully now class, it's your turn to read the story along with me. Okay, so for how you're going to read the story, we will start from the student seated in front on the left side, onto the last student seated in front to the right, and then next student that will read is onto the right, second row of to the right, and then the last on the second row to the left. Okay, so it's like a zigzag, right? Left, right, right, left, left, right. Okay, until we finish the story. So each of the student will be asked to read at least 2 paragraphs of the story. Okay? Okay, are you ready? Oh, before we start, I almost forgot that after our reading session, so there might be times I might pause the student in their reading and then ask them some questions. Okay, so this is will be some sort of recitation. Okay, so you'll also be asked some questions like about the paragraph that you're reading, what happened to the story, and so on, so that I could assess if you are really listening. Okay, okay, class. So again, each student will read 2 paragraphs on my share screen. Okay, and then we're also going to have a pair group, some written assessment, and homework. Okay, okay, so let's start on student A. Okay, student A, kindly read the last leaf. Okay,